maybe it just went to sleep. I'll just do a Reader's Digest version. So while whitetail deer hunting in Ontario, sitting on a bluff overlooking a valley, I saw a cow and a calf moose running down through the woods, and they were being chased by 2 wolves that I saw. So seeing those 2 wolves, I wasn't immediately that frightened because I've trapped wolves, released wolves, I've had wolves with sarcoptic mange that I've taken out of the woods in my profession as a game warden in the past. And I've actually, been right up close and actually had to release them from a trap at arm's length. So I wasn't that frightened when I just saw 2 wolves. And I had encounters cross-country skiing with wolves in Michigan, and also prior contact with them in Montana and also in Ontario. Well, to my surprise, these 2 wolves turned and started running towards me, and they were running directly at me, and they looked to be young of the year, approximately 75-pound wolves. And to my chagrin, 18 of their buddies followed them out of the woods, and it was like gorillas in the mist. They silently hunted and were running right towards me. The cow and the calf moose went away from me, so the wolves were coming right towards me. So it was a frightening experience. It was an amazing and exhilarating experience as well. These wolves were separating themselves, and 4 of them started to flank me on my left side. Well, they were beginning to flank me, which, if you're not familiar with that, that means they're going to come up behind you and they're going to kill you from behind. So they always want to go downwind so they can see where something, what something is and smell it. So that's a typical behavior. They'll actually circle you before they kill. And as they approached and they were closing in, 2 of the wolves, the young of the year, jumped the 7-foot cliff. They came right up at me one at a time. They were both 5 feet from the end of my feet as I sat seated with my ankles crossed, leaned up against a small aspen tree, with my gun kind of laying on my legs. And I didn't know whether to, run, scream, react, whatever. And I figured if I ran, I would be more likely, indicative of prey for them. And it was in such a remote area, I wasn't sure if they had ever seen a human being, so I wasn't sure if they would know I was prey. So anyways, I shot in self-defense, and actually what made it even more challenging or more interesting was that I had lost my magazine from my rifle prior to that experience. So my semi-automatic 308 rifle now became essentially a single shot. So I had 1 shot at 20 wolves. I had no idea if I was going to live or die. My reason for shooting was that, because actually I didn't even have a license to shoot a wolf, but because it was a near-death experience, ethically I felt that my life was more valuable than any penalty that I might face because of that. So as I took that shot, I remember thinking I wasn't sure if I would survive after the shot because I had no more ammo and I wasn't sure how this would all go. But I decided that to shoot was important because often wolves will strip animal carcasses clean, including eating their bones and their skull, sometimes leaving just 1 jaw left of the animal. They'll often eat the hide of an animal and even the hair of an animal. And in human encounters, sometimes all they've found is maybe 1 small little article of clothing, such as a rubber sole of a shoe. And in that remote region, I figured all that my friends would find, or the researchers may find, might be just my gun. And not knowing me, they may think that I just wandered off. So I thought by killing the wolf, I would therefore give some evidence as to what may have happened when my gun was laying near the wolf, because often wolves won't cannibalize one another and eat their carcasses until after they're really hungry. They might come back 2 or 3 days later. So that's some of my deadly encounters.
That's a deadly encounter, I have to say. If you want, we're going to recording for 15 minutes and go ahead and stop the tape so they can start it up again. That way it'll create a separate file for you to upload, and maybe we can cut down on
definitely.
uploading time.
Yeah, can we call you right back so I can help him while we're doing this real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. How's the